Hello. What's up, peoples? Trying to get situated here. Ah, all right. God damn it, my back hurts. Fuck. Today sucks. Okay, so we got Eli and the guest request. All right, folks. Accepting guest requests. We are going to get into it today again for the second time. I will be right back. Give me a second. I gotta go grab my juice. Interesting. Hotter than hotter than the devil's asshole. Not quite. It's not too bad. 82 degrees here in Mesa. So why don't you choose a colder day to do chores? Ah, yeah, that'll happen. Hey, Jack, if you think it's an ignorant topic, why don't you put yourself in the guest request box? Send in a guest request and have a conversation. What's up, Angry Neeson? Robin host is ignorant. I mean, you can sit there and say rude things to me, which is what I expect from Christians, is just to be rude. But I mean, you're not going to convince anybody by acting like that, behaving like that. And Anita, Antonita. I am the result of evolution. That's how I'm here. Has nothing to do with a god. Again, no evidence of a god. You claiming there's a god because life exists is not evidence of a god. That's just a claim you're making. Pretty much. Pretty much. Well, I think it's the level of consciousness that we are at. I think every living thing with a brain has some level of consciousness. It's just a spectrum. No, in fact, we are counterproductive. I think human beings are pretty stupid in regards to the fact that we've built entire societies where the essential point of the society is to make one or is to uh, provide 99% of 1% of the population's needs. The rich, the ultra rich, get 99% of their needs met, while 99% of the population doesn't. And it's counter. I have to ask you to mute, man, because like the leaves in the background. That's right. The rich Like our society, American society, is literally designed to achieve 99% of the needs of 1% of our population. We are stupid as a species that we do that. Like, why do we do that? We could build a society where 99% of everybody's needs are met. Instead, we built a society where the needs of 1% of us is met. And that's insane. That's absolutely so counterproductive to survival, to happiness, to everything. Like human beings are awesome. We are awesome, but at the same time, we're really stupid. You don't prove a negative, Josh. Prove Odin doesn't exist. Prove Thor doesn't exist. If you can't provide evidence that Krishna doesn't exist, then you're asking me an illogical question. Nobody appreciates. Can't you see we got everything? Do we? Do we have everything? 60% of Americans aren't living paycheck to paycheck, stressing the fuck out, trying to decide whether or not to pay their rent or buy groceries. Really? People's needs are met. I'm on dialysis for kidney failure. I'm on the verge of homelessness again because the homeless program that I got lined up with is for people who can work. I can't work.
Oh
So
my
I
God, I
might
hate that
lose my
argument.
apartment. So go ahead and explain to me how all of our needs are being met. I mean, your needs are probably being met, and based on your worldview, you think everybody is experiencing the same thing you're experiencing, but that's just not the fucking case. There are people out in this world that are struggling their asses off just to get food.
Yep.
Believing in God, and Anita, does absolutely nothing. No measurable difference between you or anybody else that doesn't believe in God. I'm not blaming God for anything. I don't believe in God, Josh. What part of that sentence don't you understand? I don't believe in God. I don't believe in sin. I don't believe your Jesus existed. The Bible has been largely disproven. I mean, we can go through this. That's what the whole point of the debate is in the first place. If you want to send in a guest request, put your ass in the box and have a conversation. I'm more than happy to do so. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Great, man. I've been listening to you a bit about, proving the existence of God and everything, and I agree with you with the things that you say about Christian believers, right? Though they believe in God, right? Just because you believe in something doesn't mean it is gonna be beneficial to you. You know what I mean?
Correct.
A person that believe in something, they actually do it. And if they actually, because if you actually believe in something, your words and action should align or congruent, correct?
Well, you would think, but oftentimes
So
people's
what I mean
beliefs
is like this.
contradict their actions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If words and action congruent with each other, it actually that is the that is your actual that means you actually believe in what you believe like to be true. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
right. So, like, as a humanist, my beliefs and my actions are congruent with each other.
Okay,
But
and
with Christianity, their actions and beliefs contradict each other.
that's correct. That is
They,
that
they, they,
that is
they preach the word of Jesus, but Jesus said, love the least amongst you. Jesus said a couple of very beautiful things in the Bible.
yes,
I agree with a couple of the things that Jesus would have supposedly said, but not many. The few things that I agree with are take care of the lesser amongst you,
correct,
clothe, clothe and feed the hungry,
correct.
accept your immigrants.
Yeah,
There's a host of very socialistic ideas that Jesus would have had, or that supposedly had in the Bible, that modern day Christians in America do not adhere to. They
I
don't believe
agree.
in immigration. They don't want to help the poor. They don't want to take care of the least amongst them at all. It's
And that's true with any human being. So what does that make any different with any
well,
Christian?
it's not necessarily true with any human being. I
No, I'm
think your
saying in
worldview.
general, like
I think
people that
no. I
say
think
they
I think hold on. I think your worldview plays a large part in this. If your worldview is tied up in Christianity, that's one thing. But then there's worldviews that are tied up in other religions. There's worldviews that are tied up in secularism, and oftentimes we see the most humanistic behavior coming from the secular societies rather than the religious ones.
so so I when I was younger, I have issue with understanding people, right? Because I came from a third world country. I'm from Cambodia, born in
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cambodia.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I really have to address this comment really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Archfiend Manifestation said Mother Teresa did a lot as a nun. What do you mean? Yeah, if by forced suffering into entire indigenous groups of people, then you're right. Mother Teresa was evil as shit. Like for real. She was not a good person. Not at all. Not even a little bit. There's documentaries about how horrible that person was and the kind of evil things that person did. She is not an acolyte you should hang your belief system on at all. A horrible, mean person, horribly mean. For the billions of dollars that woman brought into the Catholic Church, she had hospitals in Africa where people were dying on the floor from curable diseases. They were rewashing rubber gloves and syringes. She did nothing to help people. In fact, she's quoted directly as saying that watching people in their suffering brings her closer to the Lord. She was certifiably insane.
Oh wow.
Hell's Angel. Go on YouTube, look up Christopher Hitchens' Hell's Angel, and that's one of many sources for the horrible things that Mother Teresa did. Horrible things Mother Teresa did. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Please go on with your story.
Okay, so as a child, I have difficulty communicating. Why? Because as well, since I'm Asian, let's put it this way: I'm Asian. My favorite subject is math, right? So
All right,
that's the
hold
only
on,
thing
really
I.
quick. Again, I hate to interrupt you. So your favorite subject is math. I'm going to let you go right back to it. Please, in the comment section, understand that I can only really do one post at a time. I can only host because if we have too many people in here talking over each other, it ruins the conversation. You are in the queue. I will let you in to talk with me, but you have to be patient. Other people asked first. It's a first come, first serve basis. It comes to me in a list on a queue, and I get to the first person, and then I will move on. So please, in the comments, mellow out with the begging me to let you on. I will get to you, I promise. I'm sorry for interrupting again. Please continue.
Okay, so math was my favorite subject, and that's the only thing I love about with math. And I could not understand English. I mean, I kind of read because when I read things, I cannot comprehend it. I would try to read over and over, and I still cannot comprehend it. But as I as I grew older, I started to I started to read. Continue. I thought I have a problem with my brain or something. I just could not comprehend words.
Dyslexia, most
Yeah,
likely, it's a
yeah,
very common issue for people who
yeah.
they,
So
they have they have difficulty recognizing word patterns.
yeah. So basically, I start to realize that the words every time I speak, the words that what I'm saying, I did not truly comprehend the words because I do not know the definition of the words. So it did not bring any meaning. So when it doesn't bring any meaning to it, I don't know what the things I say, I kind of like vaguely under using it to communicate, but I never actually understood what the words mean because I never looked at the definition of it. And so basically what I'm saying is a lot of people hear the like they go to church, they hear the pastor, but they never actually get down to their own Bible and actually study what the word or the Bible is saying in itself. So when you actually read and do what the Bible is doing, it's to have a personal relationship, is to actually do it for yourself and not just try to go out there and tell people, hey, you should do this, but your own life in itself never actually is doing what you say. You just telling people what to do, but you're not doing
Having
what you're
having read
supposed
the
to.
Bible myself and having studied as much of the history as I'm capable of, like you, I deal with some intellectual roadblocks myself.
Yeah.
And so it takes a while for me to remember things, to stick with things, to be able to remind myself that I have to fact check things and not just take everything right away. But I have a really good grasp on the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say with confidence
Mm-hmm.
that if people today behaved as the Bible kind of condones them to behave, our society wouldn't exist.
What you
Human
mean?
beings would have wiped themselves out. We would have gone extinct years ago.
By doing what the Bible tell you to do?
Yeah.
How what,
I
what
want you to I want you to take let's look at a brief history. We won't
Mhm.
even go into too much detail, but just a
Okay.
brief history
All
of
right.
Christianity over the past 2,000 years and its great accomplishments. Let's look at the Dark Ages. For
Okay.
500 years, the church ruled everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the Crusades. Let's look at the Salem witch trials here in the United States. Let's look at the fact that chattel slavery was condoned using the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the fact that women's were denied rights
Okay.
based on the Bible. Let's look at modern today where they're attacking the LGBTQ and transgender people using the Bible.
Okay.
When God indiscriminately murders children repeatedly in the Bible, where
Okay.
God condones rape and child sex trafficking in the Bible, there is nothing good about that fucking book.
Well, I mean, I don't remember. I mean, I'm barely trying to study. I don't remember.
It's not about study.
I mean,
To
like
understand this, it's very simple.
reading
You
it, because
start
it
with
doesn't say
Genesis.
anything
Stop.
about. Uh,
You start with Genesis and
yeah.
you read all the way through Revelation. You
Uh-huh.
read it and try to understand it the best you can. And if you don't understand something, come back to it later and try again later.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got through it. And I've read the
Yeah.
Bible 3 times now, and I don't
Okay.
ever want to read it again. I'm good.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's it's an impossible book to get through. It took the first time I read it, I was 14. The last time I read it, I was like 26 or 27. I can't do it again. I can't read holy books at all because they're
Yeah.
all a litany of absolutely horrific bullshit that people want to make excuses for.
So, what do you think the purpose of Jesus, the
Hold on,
so-called
I'll pause
Christian?
really quick. Archfiend Manifestation. He said, okay, this documentary right off the bat is biased. Hitchens is an atheist. That doesn't mean the things he is saying isn't fucking true. Listen to what he says, Archfiend. Just because he's an atheist doesn't mean the things that he is saying aren't fucking true. Mother Teresa brought in billions of dollars in her career to the Catholic Church in donations. She did not spend any of it actually helping people. That's a true statement. And half the money that woman got donated was from third world dictators that were literally guilty of slaughtering millions of their own countrymen. No, the Catholic Church is not a force for good. Mother Teresa was not a good person, period. Sorry. Where were we?
We were talking. Oh, my question to you is, what do you think the purpose of Jesus coming on Earth for?
I don't think Jesus existed, period.
But I'm
At all.
saying in the Bible, because you say you read the Bible.
System
I'm
of
trying to,
control.
huh?
A system of control. That's what the purpose of Christianity is.
What kind of control though?
It is an ideology built on the concept of controlling a large number of people.
Like, what's the purpose of the control?
To control.
I mean, what did he say that is a controlling?
Your behavior, who you can have sex with, in what position you can have sex with them,
Okay.
what clothes you can wear, what food you can eat.
So it's like a standard of
Well, for instance, here's a perfect example of control
okay.
as established by the original Christian church.
Okay.
In the first few centuries of Christianity, there was a denomination that celebrated God's wife. Do you know who God's wife was?
No.
Of course you don't. She's in the Bible. She's mentioned a few times, though never in a positive light. Her name is Asherah.
Asherah?
Yeah, Asherah. She was the goddess of heaven.
Okay.
Now, God, that was God's wife. There was a
What
denomination of Christianity that celebrated Asherah. The church put them to death as heretics, burnt them at the stake.
Okay. I'm gonna
Control.
have to I'm gonna try to I'm taking notes right now so I could try to find
Yeah,
that story so
control.
I could read it.
That's what the religion has always done. Control. What is the one thing Christianity has absolutely accomplished in 2,000 years? It,
So
hold on. It colonized every single continent on the planet and subsequently genocided hundreds of thousands of indigenous tribes of people who already had their own established religious beliefs.
okay. So when you're talking about control, I mean when I read the Bible, it's talking about self-control, not to control others. But I mean
That's
that's
not what
just
the
me.
Bible says. Where are you getting that in the Bible?
It's in
Is it in
Galatians.
Second Kings where God murders 42 children for making fun of the prophet Elijah for being bald? Is it in the Exodus when God uses the spirit of death to murder the firstborn children of Egypt during the Passover? Is it when God decided to flood the entire planet because he was unhappy with his own creation? Like, what part of this says self-control? Because as far as I can tell, God in the Bible doesn't have any self-control. He's just a fucking psychopath.
So is it man or is it? Because I'm kind of confused. Because when you say God is killing them, is it people killing them or man
No, it's
or
God.
God in himself killing them?
So I can read the Second Kings to you.
Okay.
So this is Bible.com. I
Bible.
do believe this is the New International Version. Second
Okay.
Kings 2, 23 through 25.
Okay.
Then he went up from there to Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, young lads came out from the city and mocked him and said to him, "Go up, you bald head, go up, you bald head." When he looked at them, he saw them. He cursed them in the name of the Lord. And God sent two female bears to come out of the woods and tear up 42 lads of their number.
Mm-hmm.
So God just murdered 42 children for making fun of a bald prophet. And that's what? That's something you should worship. That's something you should respect. That's loving and just and merciful to you. Because if that's the case, then you and I have two entirely different understandings of those words.
Of course. I mean, I will never try to persecute anybody or whatever the case is.
But that's what
And
religion does.
okay.
That's the point you're missing.
Okay.
Historically, for
Yeah.
2,000 years, the entire existence of the Christian religion has been for the purpose of controlling other people.
Okay. Now I'm trying to get the control. Why are they trying to control them to do what? To kill each other or to control them to
Make
like like for
why
instance,
why does the U.S. government write laws?
I guess to make sure people don't kill each other or
Correct.
uh-huh.
To create a society.
Yeah, to so then we somewhat be I
But the
guess
problem with creating a society under a Christian religion
okay.
is that it violates basic human rights.
Like I mean, if we have I mean, so you're saying if we don't because man in itself, if if we get angry.
Also, D Chase in the comment said his comment, land, power, and money, also plays a huge part in it.
Okay, basically like for selfish gains or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
religious leaders. So when human beings first postulated gods, it was
Hmm.
an effort to understand the nature of reality. That's what it was. We were trying to understand, we're trying to make sense of lightning and thunder and volcano and earthquakes and storms. And
Hmm.
that's so we labeled these things with agency. We labeled them gods. Eventually, it went from being an effort to understand the nature of reality to an effort to control mass amounts of people and gain power. The
Okay.
first person who stood up and said, I speak for the gods,
Hmm.
was playing a con.
So so it could be a possibility of someone playing God to.
No, not playing God, conning people into doing what he wants them to do
That's what I
for
mean,
his own
like
personal selfish gains.
impersonating.
No, not impersonating,
I mean,
just lying to people.
yeah, deceiving them, right?
Yeah,
Deceiving them to do for their own selfish gain.
right.
And that is the nature of basically almost like nature of man in general, right?
No, it isn't.
No.
It's the nature of some people. It is not the nature of all people.
Okay.
We're not sinners. Sin doesn't exist. Sin is not a
What
real
that,
thing.
one thing is a lot of people say sin, but what is sin?
They don't know and they can't explain it. The most common answer I get is whatever pisses off God, which is entirely subjective
Like, what is the
because the
definition
Bible,
of sin?
while the Bible has the 10 commandments, it has like 350 other commandments. And of those is don't eat shellfish, don't wear clothing to mix fabrics. And Christians will oftentimes just ignore those commandments in favor of, the ones that already they selectively suit for themselves.
Because I try to, I mean, the Bible says a lot about sins, and I'm trying to find a definition, trying to get like an actual, like, like a definition of sin, because every time it confuses me, every time it says sin. So by reading it
Oh,
a little bit, my only
hold on.
understanding of,
Just pause really quick.
okay.
Archfield said those weren't a part of the commandments. Yes, they were. The 10 commandments get more recognition than the rest, but all of those are laws from God handed down to his people. Don't eat shellfish. That's a law God handed down to his people. Don't wear clothing to mix fabrics. That is a law handed down from God to his people.
I don't believe in any
Stone
God
people to
that
death
doesn't
for
let you
working
eat
on
bacon.
yeah, stone people to death for working on the Sabbath. That is a law. It doesn't matter if it's specifically within the 10 commandments, Archfield. Where in the Bible does it say the 10 commandments are the end all be all? Where in the Bible does it say not to listen to the rest of the commandments that God gave? Nowhere. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that. Nowhere. And the 10 commandments are largely irrelevant. The first three are about kissing God's ass. The only three that we have that are even remotely close to law is don't murder, don't steal, and don't bear false witness. That's it. The rest of the commandments, there's no law in the United States for any of the other commandments. And I'd like you to challenge you to think that any human society could exist for any period of time if people were murdering each other, people were stealing from each other, people were bearing false witness against each other all the fucking time. So these things existed within human nature before Christianity even began to exist. So Christians don't have a lockdown on morality. They don't. Sorry, continue. My mistake.
Yeah, I was talking about sin. I'm trying to figure out the actual definition of sin, but to my understanding, sinning is like, it's just like, another word for it is like separation. I mean, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't really find a definition of sin.
It's whatever pisses off God, which is largely subjective and to be interpreted by a Christian,
And that's
because
the
each
thing.
Christian interprets it differently.
And that's the thing, you know, like I said, I always have problem with word and comprehension. So now every time I find a word that I do not understand, I try to find a meaning or definition of it so I could
No,
comprehend
I
it.
understand. There is no solid definition of the word sin. There's no definition for it because it
And
doesn't exist. It's not real. It's just
because
a concept that people made up. And it's largely subjective. It changes over time. What was considered a sin 500 years ago is not necessarily considered a sin today. Or things that weren't considered a sin 500 years ago are considered a sin today. So you go back far enough in time and nobody had a problem with homosexuality within the Christian religion. You go back far enough where to a period of time where being bisexual was kind of the norm and nobody saw anything wrong with it. There was a time in the Christian religion when nobody cared about homosexuality. And then suddenly in the 1940s in the United States, it became a horrific sin out of the middle of fucking nowhere. And, they reinterpreted the Bible in Leviticus to mean what they think it means and all this other. I mean,
yeah.
there's a biblical scholar here on TikTok named Dan
Mm-hmm.
McClellan who's specifically addressed these claims, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. So Christianity is whatever Christians want it to be. It
And that's
changes over time.
that is a problem to me because now I'm a person that try to find a words and a definition to it. If I can't find a definition to sin, and it's a problem if I just
Hold on.
articulate the way I want to.
Yeah, I mean, user in the comment section said, if you understand the difference between good and evil, then you understand sin. Only liars deny this. First off, there
But
is
that
no
don't
such
even make
thing as
sense.
there is no such thing as evil. Doesn't exist. It's not a real force that exists within the nature of reality. Evil is a concept, an idea that human beings invented to describe doing harm. So, how do we define what's good and how do we define what's bad? It's subjective to each person. You might be pro-life, I'm pro-choice. My subjective morality versus your subjective morality.
You know what I think evil is? I think evil is religious people claiming objective morality and imposing it on other people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Here, this is what I believe. You should be forced to believe what I believe. Yeah, that's pretty fucking evil.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't define anything, how can there be a standard to it?
Satan is not real, user. I am so tired of the goddamn Dunning-Kruger effect that appears in this conversation and debate. User 69, you change your name so that you have an actual name on your thing, for starters. And secondly, the definition, the Hebrew translation of the word Satan is the adversary. It is not a person in the Bible. The word
I agree
Satan,
with that.
the word Satan is not an actual character in the Bible. It is a title. And like 7 different people in the Bible are referred to as Satan. Samuel is referred to as Satan in the Bible. You don't know your own theology. You're blowing smoke out of your ass. Please stop talking.
It sounds like a person that don't know how
And
to.
no, Lynn, I'm tired of the discussion with you too. Satan is not real.
Hey, Lynn, if Satan's real, can you make a prediction based on what he's going to do?
Oh, they can, yeah. No, Satan is not a fallen angel. There is no fallen angel in the Bible. That is not true. Just because you are too lazy to actually read your Bible the way it's supposed to be read from an academic perspective, and you're too lazy to understand how the Hebrews and the Greeks and everybody else involved in the creation of the Bible were thinking at the time that they wrote the Bible, we have information for that. Lucifer is not the devil. The devil is not Satan. None of them are the serpent. These are all 4 separate individual characters that have nothing to do with each other. The devil is not a fallen angel. The devil was specifically created by God to do God's bidding. He used the devil to tempt Jesus in the desert. and to murder Job's family in a bet because God is capricious and cruel. That is where the devil comes in. Lucifer is a totally different fucking being that has nothing to do with the devil. They're not the same fucking person. I'm not lying to myself and others. I've literally been in this debate and conversation for the past 20 to 25 years. I have heard dozens of biblical scholars talk on this. I've literally paid attention. Yeah, no, the devil and Lucifer are not the same being.
Yeah, I don't think these so-called Christian whatever understand a standard.
There was a Pew Research study done a few years ago. I think it was like 2013 or 2016. I can't remember what year. Maybe Darth knows. Where the Pew Research showed that atheists and non-believers know more about Scripture and the religion than the actual people who profess a belief in that religion. Specifically here in the US, it was Christianity, but it applied elsewhere too in other religions and other cultures. Welcome back, Brittany.
I don't know the exact study you're saying, but it's just a general truth that it's easier to make claims than to disprove them. And so you have to put a lot more effort into disproving something than to make claims, which is how religious people get away with saying BS.
It seems like they make their own standard.
Oh, they absolutely do. They subjectively choose what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe.
And because of that, it seems like it's wishy-washy and it just however they feel.
Right.
And because I believe in a standard, something set. And
I don't.
I mean, you don't believe if like you should have a set standard for yourself?
What you're describing is an objective truth, and I don't believe in an objective truth.
Like what you mean? Like if I say
like nature has a set of rules that we should follow. I don't believe that. I think that humans have a set of rules that we should follow for our own well-being, for our ability to thrive. But I don't think nature gives a fuck about us.
Well, what I mean is like as a person, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it and don't do it. You understand? That is my standard as a man or a person.
Right. So like you have your own creed that you follow.
Yeah, it's like so therefore that set a standard for me so that I feel like, hey, if I say something, it's going to happen instead of saying not do, you know what I mean?
No, man, I appreciate you, and I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing what you got.
Yeah,
and I do apologize for the interruptions. There's
not a problem.
Most of the time I avoid the comments, but once in a while there's some that poke out to me and I want to address them. So I am sorry for that.
Oh, no problem, man. I appreciate you for bringing me in. I just have a few questions, and you know it helps me to continue on with my life, and so I continue, you know, because like I said, I had difficult comprehending words. Now I try to find definition.
Anytime you see me live and you've got questions, man, go ahead and send in a request. We can have another conversation.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go grab some dinner, and you have a great one, brother.
You take it easy, brother. Thank you so much.
Yep.
What's up, Ethan?
How's it going? Darth, what have you been up to today?
Wait, I need to talk to you about your situation. I'm so depressed from what you posted.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. I don't want to be fucking homeless.
I'm so sad. I don't know what to do.
Same.
Just so everybody
if it comes down to it, I'm gonna have to sell everything I own, all the furniture, my new television, everything that I've worked for in the past few months. It's going to go right down the shitter.
Just so everybody knows, Ethan's having a super hard time because, you know, he's disabled. Ethan's disabled basically from an autoimmune disorder that clobbered his kidneys. He's on dialysis and wherever he lives. And I guess the U.S. in general doesn't provide enough support for, you know, for his situation. And he's about to be homeless, which is fucking ridiculous.
I was homeless 8 months last year. I lived in a car. But this year, I don't have a car to live in.
I don't understand how someone as talented as you ends up not being able
There's
to
no
have
way
a
to make
phone.
money doing what I do, my guy. I mean, well, there is, but I don't have the means to make a larger audience. TikTok constantly bans me, so I lose all of my original channel here on TikTok had 107,000 followers, and it was growing daily. And
Mhm.
TikTok just cut my legs off from underneath me and Thanos the entire account.
And is that because of like language or what? What do you think it was
Probably.
because
I
of?
mean, I think it was because I was being mass reported by Christians who don't like what I have to say.
Well, I don't think reporting is enough to get you banned. I think it has. I
Not
think they,
now.
yeah,
Their
I think.
algorithm has changed in the past few years, but
Oh,
back then it was
interesting.
absolutely like there's another atheist on here by the name of Jeff.
Uh-huh.
His TikTok handle is please don't ban me because
Hmm.
the dude's lost like more than 20 accounts.
Hmm.
I've lost like 10 or 15. Jeff has been banned more than me, and his language is lighter than mine. He doesn't cuss near the fuck as much as I do.
Hmm. I wonder if cussing is a big source of banning. Do you think it is?
I think like I lose comments. Like they'll take down comments on that I post all the time because it has like a bad or a cuss word in it. But I don't know that I've ever been banned for cussing specifically.
And do you not think that you would be as effective if you didn't do your natural sort of cussing and stuff?
No, if I'm not me, people are going to know it. You know, you gravitate towards people who, they have a good grasp on who they are as a person, and my language is just a representation of that.
Yeah.
I don't see them as bad words. I'm in the school of George Carlin. There's no such thing as a bad word, only bad context.
The seven words you can't say on TV. I know them
Pretty
by
much.
heart.
Yeah, but he said specifically, and it was one of the most profound philosophies I'd ever heard up to the point when I heard it. There's no such thing as a bad word. There's only a word cannot be inherently good or inherently bad. It's context. It's how you use words that make the intention good or bad.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that. When I'm cussing out here, I'm not calling people fuckhead. I'm saying, what the fuck are you saying? There's a difference there. I'm not
Yeah.
being obligatory towards the person. I'm just using words to magnify what I'm saying.
It's the way that you emote.
Correct.
Yeah. It's too bad. I wish there was a way for you not to get banned. I just wish the whole situation
Well,
was
that's why I
different.
want to
It's
move over to
just,
YouTube. I want to do this full time on YouTube, but I can't raise enough money to get there.
yeah, I don't even know anything about the whole YouTube thing. I don't really understand what that involves.
Oh, I would need a PC that's got a good audio and video card. So the best ones available are going to be a gaming PC. I don't PC game. I don't game on PCs. I game on an Xbox. I hate gaming on PCs. So I would want to buy a gaming PC not for gaming, but for the audio video capabilities they have. And I would need a good webcam, and I would need a good microphone and a desk and all the stuff that goes with all that, so I can set up an office and start making content on YouTube, hosting legit debates like you see other groups do.
I mean, I have extras of all that sort of last generation. If you don't need current generation, I mean, I have lots of laptops and microphones
I
and
have a $200
video
laptop that
cams.
can barely process watching a YouTube video, much less process editing a YouTube video. Like my computer's absolute garbage.
Hmm. I mean, potentially I can just send you like a slightly old PC laptop. Um, that's a possibility if that's interesting to you. I have
It would have
I
no.
have I have lots of like webcams
It's like
and
like I said, it's got to be a higher end system. It's got to have a good solid graphics card, a good solid audio card,
well, why do you think
because
you need a
I don't
solid
want to create.
graphics card, for instance? Because
I don't want
I
to.
actually know a
Hold
lot
on,
about
hold on.
this, so I'm wondering why
I
you think you need
I
a
just
graphics.
I don't want to create content that looks like shit. I want to
Yeah,
create
so things
content
like
that looks good, that's visually
yeah,
appealing.
right. So graphics card and stuff like that. I mean, the truth is you don't need that stuff because all that happens if you don't have it is stuff gets completed a little slower. If you're talking about real time stuff, that's different. But Generally speaking, anything
Well,
that
I
you
guess
can do
that's
on
kind of
any
what I'm talking about,
PC.
like being able to live stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be you know, one or two generations ago is easily powerful enough to do that. I mean, this is, you know, any
I try
PC
it
with
on
like
when I do it on
anything
like
above like go
I
ahead.
was recently on a podcast video YouTube deal. Neil the 604 Atheist. He had me on as a guest, and when I went to go rewatch it, my audio and video were fucking terrible.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just absolutely god awful. And it drives me nuts that it looks like that it sounds like that. It's terrible, terrible. And I
Yeah.
want any content, I want to do it real. I want to do it good. I don't want it to be half-assed and look like shit and sound like shit. I want it to be a good production.
Uh-huh. And you think that if
Especially if I'm
you feel,
expecting people to pay me for my content. I mean, I want to give them something that's worth it. You know,
do you feel like if you had that stuff, you know, I mean, I don't know, again, I don't know that whole game. So I don't know what it takes to, let's say you were to produce videos for YouTube. Do you know how to like market them and make money from them?
it'd be similar to how I do it here, but I would be able to reach a larger audience if I'm not getting constantly banned.
Hmm.
I mean, like I said, in
Does
my first
YouTube ban
channel,
stuff also, or
in my first, you can, but you've got to be really fucking extreme for YouTube to ban something. Like it's got to be legit fucked up, like speech, in order for YouTube to tear things down. Um, but my first channel here on TikTok, I got up to 107,000 followers, and I did that in like 9 months, and it was still growing. It was getting bigger. I was going to hit 200. I was guaranteed I was going to hit another. I was going to hit 200,000 followers on TikTok in the next 6 months when they ban that account. So I can draw a crowd. I can get people's attention, and I have the personality to do it.
and does that translate directly to money on YouTube?
Tends to. I mean, if you
What's the
are
mechanism by which people make money on YouTube? Like just
well,
from views
there's a
or
couple of different ways. There's advertisement revenue. There's a number of different ways you can make money through YouTube, it's not something I would get rich doing. It would supplement my income.
yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
just
get
need
rich
enough
doing
not to
it.
be freaking homeless. Exactly.
Right. I need enough to not be fucking homeless. That's the goal.
Yeah. And how much is that? What's that? What's your monthly
Well,
egg to get to
the
that?
the rent. Ouch. This is the letter I received with a 5-day eviction notice right here, because the homeless program paid everything except 33%. My total rent is $13.78 a month. What my homeless program wants me to pay now is $5.40 of that. I get $5.88 from disability.
Mhm.
100 of that goes to my cell phone, and 100 goes to my internet. So I have $3.88 a month. And they
Well,
want me to
hold
pay
on. One
5.40.
question. So why does 100 go to your cell phone? Are you paying off your cell phone or are you for
Yes,
the
I'm paying for the
service?
device.
Oh, the device is most of that?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you
not
can
most
get
of it.
like,
My plan is most of it. My plan is like $90 a month.
well, that's crazy. You shouldn't be paying 90 bucks a month for plans. Who's your
It's
provider?
unlimited.
I know, but who's your provider?
Verizon.
Yeah, so instead of Verizon, you can get the exact same network. Oh, but let me think about this. So Spectrum
Yeah,
lets you do 45 bucks a month unlimited.
I've had Spectrum. It's garbage. I
But
had
it's the
Spectrum
same
in
network.
Minnesota.
Spectrum uses Verizon's network.
Yeah, but their devices are shit.
It's the same device. What device do you have now? An iPhone or?
No, I have a Galaxy. Oh shit! What is this thing?
I mean, it's the same device. You just stick in a different SIM card.
Galaxy S23.
Yeah,
They're
and
not the same devices. They run completely different software. I mean, it's similar, but it's not the same.
hmm,
The reason I go through Verizon and not through Straight Talk or some other network is because I've been through those networks and they suck shit.
They're saying you can
terrible.
use your device now with Spectrum. Someone online said that. Someone in the chat said. So I think you can get that 90. You can
And I
probably get
can't
that.
transfer this phone until I pay it off anyway.
Oh. Hmm. But just FYI, you should, in terms of if most of that cost is the service, you should be able to at least cut that in half.
I mean, what? $45 isn't going to do me much.
I know, I'm not. I'm just chipping away at different details. I'm just trying to see where we might be able to optimize.
And I'm not even paying for the best internet. I'm paying for half-ass internet. Fucking internet's expensive. I didn't realize it was going to be that much. I was hoping it was going to be like they have 1,000 meg internet available in the greater Phoenix area. And in my area in Mesa, we qualify for that 1,000, but it's like $200 a month.
What?
Yeah, for like 1,000 meg internet, it's like 180 or 190 bucks.
Well,
I'm running
first of
250.
all, all right. Well, first of all, you don't need it.
No, I don't need 1,000. I'm not
I
gaming or
mean,
anything like that.
literally something like 60 megabits is
Uh,
plenty.
I'm running 250
Yeah, so
for
250 is more than enough.
$100 a month.
That's still super expensive, dude. I can't believe it's that expensive.
It is. I've looked at their plans again recently, but they're always changing the damn things. So I'm trying to find one. I'll go back and I'll look again in a few days.
So
And
for
if I
the kind
find
of
one,
bandwidth, yeah. So for the kind of bandwidth you need, you should not be paying more than $60 a month, maximum.
it depends on where you live.
Okay, that's true.
I go through Cox. Cox isn't the same as Spectrum. Spectrum's a totally different company, and they operate differently with different prices. And in different areas have different costs of living. Here in Phoenix, the cost of living is high.
Mm-hmm. There's someone saying AT Unlimited's $45. Like $45 seems to be the current price.
I've used AT&T. Look, I am 40 years old, people. I have had cell phones for the past 20 years of my life. Everything ranging from a brick fucking Nokia all the way to an iPhone. And I've narrowed down the things that work and gotten rid of the things that don't work. I don't like working with Verizon. They're a fucking nightmare half the time with their customer service, and they are expensive. But you are getting a better product through Verizon than you are through these other services. It's just the truth of it.
Yeah, which is why I like Spectrum, because they use the same network, and Spectrum's a better company.
Yeah, it's not as much of a ripoff, but I went through Spectrum when they first started offering mobile services back in 2018, 2019. That was a while ago.
Someone said you qualify for some discount, affordable connectivity program.
Yes, there are federal programs where I can get a cheap shit cell phone on a cheap shit network.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. They have them for elderly people too.
Dude, you just need to make believe you're like 80. That's what you need to do.
Oh, yeah.
Then you'll get all the services you need.
But it's nice to have nice things, folks. We can sit here and cut some of the nice things I have out of my life, and then I don't have nice things. So it's nice to have nice things. I like having a nice phone that does what I want it to do when I want it to do it, and I don't have to argue with the fucking cell tower. And Verizon has always been that network. The only time I've ever struggled with Verizon was in Iowa when I was a truck driver. Fucking Iowa is a cell phone pit of despair and sadness. It doesn't matter what network you're on. T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, none of them fucking work in northern Iowa. None of them. And so, but
by the
Verizon
way, I just want to say,
been,
Iowa is also now a pit of despair for
general.
morality as well.
Yeah, just in general. Iowa's always been a pit of despair. Fucking, how the hell that state is a swing state is beyond me.
Yeah.
Why they caucus Iowa more than any other fucking place, I will never understand.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, your videos made you super, super sad. Did you kind of bounce a little from that, or are you just still just in the doldrums?
What do you mean?
Do you see any light at all?
No, not even a little bit. It, so I hope I talked to the people in my for my homeless program yesterday, and they agreed to pay the 550 or 540 that I owe this month, but they want me to start making my 33% payment next month,
Which is the
and I
550 or
agreed to
whatever.
it, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a month to figure it out.
Yep.
Okay, we have
But
a month to figure
it
it out.
gets worse than that.
Go ahead.
Because they pay rent for like 4 months, and then I'm expected to pay 33% for several months, and then it goes to 62%.
Ooh, why?
And eventually, by the end of the year, they want me paying the full rental amount.
What?
Yeah. This homeless program isn't for disabled people. This homeless program is for people who can work that just fell on hard times
I see.
and
It's to get you
need
back into, theoretically, to
right.
get you back on your feet or something.
Right. Yeah. This homeless program isn't a permanent help you program. This isn't for
Now,
disabled people.
I assume you've looked into all the possible like federal and state programs.
I'm waiting on an email from HUD
Okay.
for emergency rental assistance.
Yeah. And is that the only source for that kind of thing?
As far as I know, I haven't been able to find anything else. I
Is
mean,
that
the
because I
National
mean I
Kidney
think
Foundation
there's
can help. The
I
National
think
Kidney Foundation can help with rental assistance, but my social worker has to put in a word for me in order for me to get even into apply for anything through them.
someone's
So
asking if you're a veteran.
negative.
Negative, yeah. I didn't think so. Um, and so I mean I think supposedly there's like a lot of federal programs and state programs to try to help people that tend not to be even accessed that much.
It depends on what state you live in. Red states tend to have less than blue states.
Mhm. And is Arizona a red or blue state?
Red.
So would you possibly consider moving to a blue state?
uh, uh, find
What's
me a blue state that doesn't get snow.
California?
No. Hell no.
Why not?
My pew pew is illegal in the state of California,
Well, that's okay.
and I can't afford California. It's like twice as expensive as Arizona is.
That's true. That's true. What's the nearest blue
I
state
mean,
to
if
you
if
that's
fi-
not
if
super
if
expensive?
if 588 can't get me out of the hole in Arizona,
Yeah,
588 is
yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
bury me in
No, no,
California.
you're absolutely right. What blue states near you that let's see. So you want your requirement is it has to be decent weather, blue
Well, the
state.
reason being is when I lived in Minnesota, so part of being kidney failure is immunocompromised. You are immuno-weakened. Your immune system is taking a hit. And so the reason I left Minnesota in the first place is because in the winter of 2018, 2019, I had bronchitis and pneumonia consecutively at the same time for 3 straight months,
Hmm.
to the point where the doctors were getting concerned that antibiotics were going to stop working. So winter is hard on me. I get sick really easy, and I can't do winters.
Are there any? I'm not that familiar with the flyover states, which was where you would think there'd be, relatively cheap rent, but still blue states.
Minnesota's cheap. It's cheaper than like the national average. The
But it's
last
free.
place I
But you
rented
said
in
it's free.
Minnesota was
But
$690 a month.
but it's too cold, right?
Yep.
So are there any warm blue states that are
Nothing
cheap?
I'm aware of. All of the southern states are red.
Hmm.
And they have the highest poverty rates and highest crime rates. And
Is New Mexico blue?
New Mexico is blue, but there's nothing there. It's desert. There's literally nothing there. Albuquerque is the only major city in New Mexico, and they have one of the highest crime rates in the country.
Would you consider Albuquerque
No,
because of the crime rate, or why?
more or less. I don't feel the urge that I should put myself in a situation where I may have to defend myself. I'd rather not do that if possible.
So that's like a major concern of yours is like personal safety.
Yep. I can't fight. I'm not physically capable of fighting. So
Do
it
you
would
find
end up
yourself
being
is it because of the way you look that you find yourself at risk all the time physically, or
no.
why?
I don't find myself at risk all the time. I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I might be at risk.
But I mean, I guess I would ask, what's the problem?
Same way you wouldn't move into a projects area, right? You're not going to
Mhm,
move into a busted neighborhood because, self-preservation.
mhm. But do you feel like, I don't know, I just that assumption that like you're going to be physically seems odd.
It's not that I'm going to be, it's that I'm increasing my risk for it.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Hold on, Molly's pinging me. Let me see if I can get her in here. Actually, let me
Larry Brett says, you know that God exists. That's why you're an atheist. No, that's not how that works, Larry. That's actually the polar opposite definition of the word fucking atheist, man. Like, can you read? What the fuck? I do not believe in your God. That's just as simple as that. That's not how that works. Like, logic, man. Words
Nevada.
have
Somebody
definitions.
somebody asked about, well, you are in Nevada.
No, I'm in Arizona.
You're in Arizona. I'm sorry. What about Nevada?
I wouldn't mind living in like Las Vegas, but I don't know what's all over there. I don't have the money to move anyway.
What would it take to move? You just have
Several
to.
$1,000s.
You think so?
Well, I would have to rent a U-Haul and a pretty sizable one because I have furniture now that I didn't have before. Gas, I would have to have money for an apartment when I get there to get on my feet and get started. Like it
Well,
would cost a lot of
you'd
money.
want to pre-arrange that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right. And that's thousands of dollars that I can't even draw $3,000 to get started with a YouTube channel. There's no way I'm going to draw enough money to move.
Hmm.
What I need is a millionaire. Somebody get a hold of Mr. Beast.
Who's Mr. Beast?
He's a YouTube sensation person. Like a couple of months ago, he paid to get a bunch of like 1,000 people LASIK surgery. He's like super philanthropic.
Hmm.
He's a major YouTube influencer and content creator. He's like a billionaire because of YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, he's made money with his career as a YouTuber.
I can't believe he made $1 billion with YouTube, though.
I'm not sure. That's the rumor I heard. I haven't looked into it because I don't give a fuck one way or the other. But I mean, even if he's just a millionaire, he's doing good for himself.
Yeah. He's probably a millionaire from it.
There's another one named Gigi Gorgeous. She started out as a gay boy on YouTube doing makeup tutorials, and then later came out as transgender, and then documented her entire transition. And she's a gorgeous supermodel that's married to the heiress of an oil company, and she's got makeup lines and clothing lines, and is worth like six figures or 7, 8 figures.
Hmm. Oh, wait, we're almost at 10K. All right, everybody, I forgot to keep telling you, keep hitting, let's like until we get to 10K.
It's
Let's get
been kind
Ethan
of
to
a slow
10K.
day on the live. This morning at like 3 or 4 o'clock this morning, or 2 or 3 o'clock this morning when I went live, I had like 300 people in here pretty steady.
Nice. By the way, I figured out today that if you just keep tapping, like the hearts just keep coming, keep going, and you can give like 100 hearts real quick. It's really interesting.
Yeah, you actually there's a ranking system based on the number of hearts you give a given creator. You can gain a certain like rank or whatever.
But everybody try hitting your screen real fast, and you'll see you get this little thermometer thing that
Yep,
happens
there it is.
where your hearts fill up the thermometer. It's kind of cool. And then we can give Ethan lots of likes. Get him up to 10K real quick.
Just about there. Holy shit.
Let's see, where are we at now? See, look,
4K,
I just mentioned it, and we went up
5K,
by 1,000. It's amazing how all you have to do is like
9.6,
remind people to do it. And then
9.7,
it's amazing. It's so fun.
9.8,
It's like a video game.
9.9, 10K. Hooray! We're at
Yay!
10K
10K,
likes.
we did it!
Now, if only I could
Congratulations,
make
everybody.
money. Now, if only I could make money based off likes. I'd be a millionaire if I could make money based on likes.
It's interesting. How do we, like people, I watch some of these channels and there are these hilarious channels where like they're just focused about getting people to send like the little, hot dogs and stuff like that, which translates to money, the coins.
I don't like gifts on this app because it's a huge ripoff. TikTok takes like 65% of the money you invest into those things.
But even if they do, I mean, I was watching this girl who all she does is like eat the food that people send her as gifts. Like
Right.
she fakes it, and like they just keep sending it like a
She's
constant
also.
flow.
I don't mean to like comment too much on the double standard. If I was a woman with boobs, I would make an infinite more amount of money than I do right now.
Yeah, well, that's the way of the world, right?
That's the way of the world. Sex sells. That's just that simple. And I'm not sexy enough to sell sex. So
I don't know. We should poll the audience. Let's do a poll. Do you know how to do a
yeah.
poll? Wait, do you know how to do one of those smiley sad face polls?
No. I mean, let me see here. We interact, and we can do a quick poll.
Yeah, quick polls. Is it like smile face and
Yep.
sad face? All right, everybody put up a poll, and then we'll say smiley face is for that Ethan's hot, and sad face is Ethan's not.
There you go. The poll is up. Red for hot, blue for not.
There you go. Especially
And
the
out of
women
30,
here.
out of 36 people, I expect to lose drastically bad.
No, look, dude, you're crushing it.
Oh, come on.
You're crushing it. See?
Is this a sign that I should get an OnlyFans? I just want to warn everybody in advance. I have a white boy ass. Like, it's non-existent.
Dude, quit while you're ahead, man. Don't give extra info.
I'm so white, I'm translucent. My favorite color is invisible.
By the way, I feel like also, Ethan, I think it would help if you didn't just do God as a topic.
I know. I would like to
in
dive into
general.
politics too, but honestly, that's more aggravating than fucking talking about religion.
Yeah. What about, yeah, I mean, but you could also just be like I feel like you'd be a cool host. Do you watch these other channels where like people come on and debate different topics and the host just kind of moderates it?
Some of them. I've seen some of those.
You might want to just try that and see if it works. I see a lot more GIFs in those than I see in other ones.
I'll host a debate. Does the devil have a big old dong? Just joking. That was stupid. Don't mind
me, dude.
Don't mind me.
Yeah. So I mean, you're such a character. I feel like that if you were to be the host, you would attract a certain kind of interaction that would be very interesting.
I want them to give me an HBO TV show like Bill Maher.
Right. I love Bill Maher. I rarely disagree with Bill Maher.
I find myself disagreeing with him more often now than I did 10 or 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
His attitude towards the transgender community is a little off-putting.
Someone said you couldn't keep your mouth shut to be a moderator. That's probably true. That would probably be the problem.
Somebody would say something profoundly stupid, and I'd have to step in and be like, "Wait a second."
But maybe that's your shtick, though, right? Is like you're the guy who's the moderator who's like not going to put up with BS.
Well, the thing is, like, if I imagine myself in the role of Bill Maher, if I imagine myself with an HBO special television show, something like that, where I have a massive influence over a large population of people,
Mm-hmm.
I would be a little bit more intellectually honest. I like to think I would be a little bit more intellectually honest than Bill Maher has been recently in regards to what is fundamentally wrong with American society. He
Mm-hmm.
likes to go after the younger generation a lot, and he likes to go after the extreme side of liberalism where they want to, the extreme liberals who want to, like,
Ultra woke. He's very anti-ultra
yeah,
woke. Yeah.
yeah, but this is a smaller population of people than evangelical Christians,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't address the evangelical Christian problem at all. He used to. Bill Maher was one of my first, aside from George Carlin, Bill Maher was one of my first introductions to atheism.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, he doesn't really discuss it much.
Yeah. It's true. But
He has a show tonight, doesn't he?
what do you
Friday.
mean? Is it, you mean like I don't know. I just record it and watch it when I get to it.
Yeah,
I don't.
he's got his shows are every Friday.
Yeah, I usually don't watch it live. So
No, I listen to the podcast because I'm not paying for HBO.
of course. Interesting.
Hey, Taurus.
So you want to start? So you want to bring some people up? I might go have a snack.
I might have to restart the live and see if we can draw a bigger crowd. 35 people's not really enough.
But these are the people that matter.
The ones that stuck around.
These are the true believers, man.
I don't know about that. I think most of the people in here at this point are like, they more or less support me.
Yeah, you think they're all asleep and they just left their iPhone on?
Might have.
Oh, someone said they've been watching you for years.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been on TikTok since 2017.
Amazing. I've only been on TikTok for like, I don't know, like 6 to 8 months or something.
No.
You were one of the first people that I watched on TikTok that I thought was interesting.
I try.
Yeah. Cool. Bring up a contender.
Well, like I said, I probably have to restart the live to get some more people in here and get that action rolling.
Okay.
So I'm going to restart the live, and I hope you all come back in and jump back in with me. And
I'll check in with you later, dude.
Sounds good, Darth. Enjoy your snack.
Thanks. Bye.
Later. All right. Starting right now.